Hey, what's up, fam? Today we got a question that we want to ask you all. What do you do when the alarm goes off?
Mm.
Do you get up and move, or do you become paralyzed by fear? The reason why I want to ask you all that particular question is because something happened 2 days ago that was eerily familiar with, or eerily similar to, an experience that I actually had, or we had, 12 years ago. And let me just take you back 12 years ago, real quick. 12 years ago, it's probably about 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. And my wife and I were living in our townhouse. And we hear some noise downstairs.
Sorry, y'all, we eating crabs.
Yeah,
They're like,
yeah.
what are they doing?
We had some noise downstairs. So, when I'm asleep, but at the same time, too, I'm kind of like a German Shepherd, and my ears are always perky. And
I used to call him Noid. I used to say, you're so Noid. You paranoid. You always like, women, shh, shh. And his therapist, our therapist back in the day, said, no, he's just hyper vigilant. I was like, oh, what a fancy word for paranoid. I know.
So I hear some noise downstairs on the lower level of our townhouse. And what I end up doing is I get up, and I'm feeling shook because, I'm 24 at that time. And my wife and I were in the bedroom, but we also have, I don't know how old Asante was back then, but our only child, which was Asante at that time. And, he's across the hall in one of the other bedrooms. So I'm hearing some noise downstairs. Now, it's raining outside. It's actually a thunderstorm going on. And I'm wondering, I'm like thinking to myself, like, why would anybody try to break into the house? And it's just messy and nasty outside. But I felt like somebody was. So I get up and go to the bedroom door, open it up, and I'm standing at the top of the steps, looking down, peeking down. And I'm petrified because I'm wondering, like, is somebody trying to come up here and do something to me and my family? And so I'm standing there, and my wife, she's already made the call to 911. She's on the phone with the dispatcher. And the dispatcher is asking who's in the house, whether or not there's any children in the house. And, what did she say, babe?
She said, you need to go get your son out of his room and bring him into your room.
And so, again, I'm standing at the entryway of our bedroom. I'm looking down the steps.
In his room, our son's room is just across the hall. It's probably about 4 or 5 feet, away from our room.
But in that moment, y'all, I was so afraid. I was so petrified and worried about what was going to happen. I found myself immobilized by fear. The alarm went off in my mind, in my head, where I thought somebody was in the house. But yet, even though I had my family with me, even though I knew what the right thing was to do, I found myself stuck standing still because I was afraid.
Your feet wouldn't move.
My feet wouldn't move. I felt like I was in quicksand, just standing there sinking. My esteem was slowly being degraded and dwindling down because I'm a man, At least back then I thought I was a man. And I was evaluating my manhood based off of whether or not I could rise up to the plate, rise up to the table, and actually protect my family. And in that moment, I couldn't. Even though, actually I could, but I came up short because I didn't. I felt like I didn't adequately meet that mark, meet that challenge, because again, I wouldn't do what I was supposed to do and go across the hall and get my son. I felt like a biatch.
Let's say that a little louder. Just a little louder.
I felt like a biatch. I really did. And
I just say that because I don't know if people can hear you. He's whispering because we have kids. And they might be upstairs listening.
And so I'm sharing that with you all to really illustrate the point that we all get afraid. Some of us have situations that we're experiencing in our life and we know that we need to take the next step. We know that we need to make the next move, but we're paralyzed by fear. We're immobilized because we think that there's something about to happen that will actually impact us.
Or destroy us.
And we're afraid to take the risk, not even realizing that really the things that we think will destroy us really ain't got nothing on us. Because truth be told, my wife was on the phone with the dispatcher, and the dispatcher told us to go get our child. And so I eventually went to go get our child. But I was afraid, and I was scared, and it didn't feel right. Dealing with those feelings of coming up short and not being a man, that just didn't sit right with me. But what I was also told was to go downstairs and open up the front door because the police were at the front door. Now, granted, I'm thinking to myself, my wife is also saying to me, too, can't they kick the front door in?
We wasn't trying to go. We were like, we staying right here.
Why do we have to go downstairs? Can't they kick the door in? But she was like, no. Go downstairs. This is what the dispatcher said. Go downstairs. They're at the front door. You'll be okay. Go downstairs, open up the front door, and let them in.
But it is a little easier for her to say, you'll be okay. Just go ahead and walk through the door. How you know somebody not crouched in the corner somewhere? But I think the point that we're trying to bring home to you is that when you're in the moment and there is a challenge that feels terrifying to you, that sometimes you have to trust. Most of the time, you need to trust, and you need to be able to move forward and push yourself through the fear. He should have moved more quickly to go get our son. We should have been able to move down the steps to the door to meet the police because they had already made an assessment of the perimeter of the house. But let's fast forward, because the reason this came up for us is because just a couple of days ago, y'all, we were in the house. It's like 3-something in the morning, and the alarm goes off.
The alarm goes off.
And guess what? We ain't hear it.
Yeah, we didn't hear it.
We were knocked out.
We didn't hear it.
We were knocked out. Somebody came in there and busted us, could have busted us upside the head.
But a different type of alarm went off. And this alarm was one where our children, our sons, actually ran into the bedroom.
Because now, fast forward, we have 4 children now, right? 2 boys, 2 girls.
And said, Mommy and Baba, the police are calling through the alarm system.
Baba is what they call him. Yeah. He's a daddy in Swahili.
And so I jumped out the bed, y'all. Again, 12 years ago, I was paralyzed. I was immobilized.
Like standing there.
2 days ago, I jumped out the bed, ran into the hallway, ran to get my daughters, brought them back in the bedroom, and then I got down on all 4s like I'm a dog.
Yeah, he was like an animal.
Yeah,
I was looking at him. I was like, what is he doing?
And I was looking over the banister. I was looking down the steps, and I was rocking back and forth. And, I just had this whole protecting my family, because 12 years ago, after that experience occurred, I said never again. So I went through a process of mental reps in my mind as if, if this was to happen again, what would I do? And there's been a number of occasions throughout these past 12 years where I might have heard a noise and I don't hide behind the door. I don't go into the corner. I don't go into the closet. What I do is I bust open the door. You're going to be like, dang, boy, you just open up the door and walk out there with your chest all stuck out. And, anybody could be out there waiting for you. But again, 12 years ago, I did not like the way I felt about myself when I experienced that initial feeling of feeling less than a man, not being able to protect my family, because that's my responsibility. I need to man up and measure up. And in order to do that, I had to actually go through a growth process to meet the mark, which is what I met 2 days ago.
So we're going to bring it home to you like this. What is the moral of both of these stories? The moral is this. First of all, you have to have patience in your process. You have to cut your spouse, your partner, yourself some slack. Imagine if I had responded 12 plus years ago and said, I cannot believe you, and would have, push this man down into the ground. He would have been more than deflated because he already was feeling some type of way about how he didn't show up. And what I did was provide a place for him to, it's okay, babe. It's all right. Because I could see he was wrestling with that. Yeah. And so I had patience with him and I tried to reassure him in his process. The other piece is this. There is always the unseen happening in your development. There's always the invisible happening. There's always things happening if you're intentional about moving forward on your path. And you don't necessarily even know where and how you've grown until you get the opportunity to demonstrate it again. And so my husband had the opportunity to demonstrate it a couple of days. Not just in and my sense of safety and my sense of knowing that he had us, all of that has taken some time to develop. So one of the things, cut yourself some slack, pay attention and look at where you are growing. We often don't see it. There are always things happening to push you higher as long as you're intentional about making sure that you go to motivation, that you go to inspiration, that you go to personal development, that you go to things that will grow you and hold you accountable. But if you're sitting, chilling, not doing any of those things, then you might show up the same way 10 years later that you did 10 years ago, and you may not be satisfied. So I just want to say to you today that I'm not only proud of you, beaming with pride as a wife, about how you dealt with that situation. Didn't even recognize. My expectation was that I know my husband's got it, right? There was no, what's I usually going to do? Because long before now, you shifted. And it was very clear to me because he was so, for lack of a better word, distraught about how he showed up 10 plus or 12 plus years ago. So I just want to say I'm proud of you. I have great pride. But what I'm really proud about is the fact that you're telling it. How many people do you know are going to share a shortcoming? Are going to put out there someplace where they messed up or they just didn't quite measure up? I think that's big. And when you share, You actually help other people. And so I just want to give you respect, big respect, and honor, husband, because you're sharing. And so I already know this about you. I already know all of who you are and all that you are to be. But when you share with other people, it reinforces it for you and for so many other people. So I give you big respect because I think it's a big deal. I really do. And I love you for it. So, guys,
thank you, baby.
So, guys, we hope that you've gotten something from this today. The moral of the stories: you're growing, you're moving, you're being shaped. Push through. Pay attention to where you've been, where you are, and where you have yet to go. Share it. Bless somebody. Acknowledge it. Own it. And continue to keep pressing as you move along your path. But in order to do that, you have to stop playing and start pushing. Some of you may have heard and some of you might not have, but we are now engaged in a new project, a new endeavor in our business where we are helping people to follow their purpose, follow their passion, get in touch with the things that might be standing in the way as people endeavor to get that gift out. And whether it's a brand, a message, a business, an idea, we'd like for you to join us if this resonates with you. This is an excellent business opportunity. It's an opportunity for you to be able to expand your cause, to expand your voice, and to be able to go to another level in your business. So if you're interested, please do reach out and connect with us. You can visit us at madetomanifest.com. That's madetomanifest.com, or click the link below. We look forward to connecting with you.